From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a PrimeWave Media production.
What's up, world? It is time for the Primetime Angles Live on IG, and this is your host, the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, and this is the premier sports betting show. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It is that time. I know you putting me all on blast. Hawaii is beautiful all times of the year. You lucky, lucky, lucky person, you. All right. Shout out to Dimitrico. Hey, what's going on, brother? I hope all is well with you as well, too. Former heavyweight contender, Alexander Dimitrico in the house. What's going on, man? All right. So, it is what it is. We got ourselves a pretty good day today. We got 3 games in the MAC. And then also I'm going to talk a little bit of some betting angles for you guys early in the week in the football as well, too. In the NFL. And then also you already know what time it is. It's Bets List time. So we're going to be talking AAC today and Conference USA, the smaller conferences, and we'll just go from there. All right, so pretty much let's go ahead and start off with the top 5 NFL teams against the spread. Sorry about that, y'all. So sorry. All right, so there it is. Top 5 teams against the spread. Bengals 6-1-1. Yeah. Believe it. Yes, the Bengals are 6-1-1, and they're going against the team that's the second best team. Looks like here 6-2 Steelers with the against the spread as well too this year, and the Steelers dropped both their games to 2 teams that have 2 wins on the season, the Broncos and the Cowboys. So then we have the Packers 6-2 easily. You know, they've had pretty much a schedule that kind of calls for that as well too. The only 2 games they didn't cover in were the 2 losses that they had, and then we have the Dolphins. The Dolphins are 6-2, 5-3 on the season. So you know, Dolphins fans are going absolutely nuts about that. They're feeling themselves big time right now. So 6-2 for the Dolphins, and then the Chiefs, team that's actually played every week this season. They're 6-3 right now against the spread. So those are your top 5 teams against the spread, and then there's about 4 or 5 other teams that are like 5-3 against the spread right now too. So all those, and it's funny because it varies. It's teams that are in bad spots right now that cover as well too. And you guys would trip if you guys knew that Atlanta covered every game that pretty much they've been in as a dog. They're like 3-2 they're like 3-1 as a dog this season. It's crazy, I know, but pretty much I'll be getting more and more of those stats out for you guys this week. I got my little stat sheet going on, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm up on game. You know, it ain't, but it's always good when you do it yourself. All right, so these are the bottom 5 teams that you might want to avoid against the spread, or you might want to start betting with as well too, because teams are only going to get better as they move forward. The bad teams get better and the good teams regress. Remember Pop told you this, okay? All right, so you guys don't be surprised when you see certain games go certain ways, okay? Pretty much if you see a matchup that doesn't look like a team is that dominant, then you need to really rethink that thing. That's why, you know, pretty much you walked into a landmine dealing with the Miami Cardinals game as well too. So you guys already know, man, pretty much you have to keep your eyes open and always look at the numbers that lie. The numbers don't lie, bro. Seriously. All right, so bottom 5 teams: Cowboys 1-8, Texans 1-7. So the state of Texas is woeful right now. They've been losing everybody money. 2-15 on the year. Then you got the Jets 2-7. The Jets actually covered in their last 2 out of 3 games as well too. Go ahead and note that. But both those games were at home as well too at the Meadowlands. So you might want to mark them down for their next home game as well too. That they may be an absolute outright winner as well. So you know the Jets right now each week in and out. they're going to present value for you, and it could be a big pop for you once they win a game. They're going to win at least 2 or 3 games this season. Just it looks bad right now. Then you got the Saints, a team that's 6-3 right now, actually 6-2, and they're 3-5 against the spread. So there goes because look, they didn't cover against Carolina. They didn't cover against. They lost to the Raiders. Also, they didn't cover against the Bears. They didn't cover against. It's just the list goes on and on of who they didn't cover against. But they got wins in half those games. They got wins in majority of those games. But they didn't cover in a lot of those games either. And then the woeful Pats right now. We all know because the Pats been costing everybody money all season. So it seems like they're able to cover every time. They've actually covered in 2 losses. That's crazy to me. They've got 3 wins, but they've actually they covered in 2 wins. I'm so sorry about that. And they covered in a loss to the Bills. So there it is with that as well too. So you guys take these notes down. These are the top 5 and the bottom 5 as well too. And just note to yourselves that how these teams are against the spread, okay? Tomorrow I'm going to be talking over and unders for you guys. So be ready for that as well too. Jay Breezy, what's going on, boy? All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the AAC real quick. And the AAC is going to be very good this week. We got the East Carolina going against Cincinnati. Cincinnati 6-0 going into this game. ECU is 1-5. ECU has been able to cover in 2 games this season, but Cincinnati's literally covered in each game they played in this year. They're actually 4 out of 6 this year, and they've actually taken care of their business in conference play, and they're actually becoming a better team by the week and dominating teams as well too. But the thing is though, I'm gonna lay off the long spread in this game of 27.5, something of that nature. It's a long spread. I feel like the over 56.5 though, that will happen, that can happen, and should happen. This should be the Cincinnati game where they really open up the playbook and get themselves a very, very thorough victory. But you know what? Eastern Carolina has came to surprise, and also South Florida. All these bottom teams in the AAC will shock you in some of these games, but I don't think that's going to happen against a very disciplined team in Cincinnati. So we move forward, and we got Houston, and Houston's in a very good matchup this week as well too. I think that Houston finds themselves in a position where they don't want to be like how Memphis was last week and get caught slipping early. So they're going to jump on South Florida as early as possible. And I feel bad because even somebody had to come get at me and was like, oh, I thought you said it was going to be by halftime Memphis covered. You know what? I can't control what they're going to do in these games, man. All I can do is try to see this crystal ball and hope that they go ahead and get that part of it done, because we've done the homework. We did all the numbers. And if the team don't show up, the team didn't show up. It is what it is. Move on to the next game. But, that was kind of disappointed. But this week, we're going to make up for that. And Houston's going to go ahead and cover this spread for us. So I'm taking them with the minus 13.5. Let's see how it shakes out. Now we have Navy. Navy has themselves a pretty good game. Navy has been a better team at home than they have been on the road. Pretty much, Navy's going to come into this one, and they're going to fight. They're going to shorten the clock. They're going to make Memphis work a bit in this game, and they're going to wind up covering this game, only losing by about 10 points, in my opinion. But, it's the AAC, so anything can happen. So there it is, Navy. Memphis plus 12.5 on Navy. SMU has themselves a pretty good matchup this week. They're going against Tulsa. Tulsa is kind of like a hot shot team in the conference this year. But you know what? After the Eastern Carolina game, I really don't believe in this team like that anymore. I think that this team still has a lot of flaws. They had a pretty good couple early weeks, but now they're now getting into the meat of their schedule. So pretty much this is going to be a game where SMU has a monster bounce back, because they're still reeling from that big loss against Cincinnati a few weeks back, and they need themselves another big win here in the conference to just get the confidence back. And I think that this will be the game. I think that they're not taking them as seriously as they should. SMU should step up and win this game by 3 or better, in my opinion. So I'm taking SMU on the money line, the straight up winner, and let's see if they can go ahead and get this money. All right, so pretty much we have ourselves a doozy here with Temple and UCF, and this is another big spread game. You got a 23.5 point dog in Temple, but Temple's tough to trust right now. They either can get a lot of points scored on them and score some points, or they can just go ahead and just lay down. I don't know what the case is going to be come Saturday, but I do feel like this game will go under the 75.5, and I think it will probably be a little one-sided towards UCF in this competition as well, too, because the game is in Orlando as well, because that's exactly where Central Florida is at. So pretty much I'm going to rock with the under 75.5. Let's go ahead and see how it shakes out. All right, so we move on. And we have ourselves the Conference USA list, the Covet Conference, because literally these schools have to at least postpone 3 games a week now. Like, geez Louise, why are we even why did you guys even come back if the whole league gonna have this, man? Seriously. So we have the big battle of Florida with Florida Atlantic and Florida International. Florida Atlantic has been the dominant party in this rivalry over the last 5 years or so. But I truly do think, though, what happens here is that we'll have a Florida International team that comes out and covers this year. Even though they're having an atrocious season this year, this is a big rivalry game, so they should show up for it and they should show out for it. And let's go ahead and see if they can lose by a touchdown or less, or possibly get themselves a big upset as well, too. But it really wouldn't be an upset because you have an FAU team that does not score that many points. As you guys can see, they had a 7-10 game last week, so it is what it is. And then we have the over 45 UTEP UTSA. This should be a good one as well, too. Both these teams are very, very much the same. UTEP is a team that's kind of on the rise this year. San Antonio is actually playing much better than expected as well, too. So I feel like that's going to clash a bit, and this will wind up being over 45. Both teams will figure out how to score and go from there. And then we have Middle Tennessee State. This is going to be a good game as well, too. I feel like they're giving Marshall way too much love, and they're actually gassing them up a bit too hard. I know Marshall is very good, but once again, this is the Conference USA, and they're not that far apart in talent in this conference. It really comes down to coaching when it's all said and done. So I think at the end of the day, this will wind up being a plus 23.5. I think Middle Tennessee State will be ready for this game, and they'll wind up covering in this game as well, too. And then we have ourselves the UAB North Texas game. I think UAB is going to actually run all over North Texas in this spot. I know North Texas is a very good team, and they have themselves a lot of really good players, but at the end of the day, though, man, I still just feel like UAB is just going to be able to dominate North Texas in this spot. And I think they beat them by 17 or better here, or 14 or better. And even if you have to kind of spend some extra money, do so you don't have to get caught up in the push, okay? So 13.5 on the University of Alabama in Birmingham. Then we got Louisiana Tech going against Rice. As I said before, Rice is a team that is kind of fresh, so it's going to be one or the other. Either they're going to come out very, very strong, or they're going to come out very, very flat. And I'm talking about Rice. Louisiana Tech, I feel like this is a spot where they kind of relish a bit because they've been playing against the tougher teams in the conference the last few weeks. And this team is kind of middling or below average in a sense still. Even though they did get a good win over Southern Mississippi been getting beat by everybody this year. So Louisiana Tech minus 115. Let's see how it shakes out. Then we got Southern Mississippi. And Southern Mississippi has themselves a really good game against Western Kentucky this week. And I think this one will wind up being a good upset where a lot of people are going to probably go crazy on Western Kentucky when they see the number and see that it's a -5 and all that good stuff and be like, oh, we can beat them by a touchdown. But there's always, to me, that's always a trap. And I felt like that as soon as I saw the line, I felt like this could have been a pick'em game or a 2.5, at least to Western Kentucky or to Southern Mississippi. Nah, they said -5 Western Kentucky at home, a team that's actually struggled pretty much all season. But Southern Mississippi has had its woes as well, too. But at the end of the day, I truly do think that Southern Mississippi is going to be the better team here. So I'm taking them with the plus 180 today, and let's see how it shakes out. And that's going to be the CSU, that's going to be the Conference USA Bets List coming up for this weekend, all right? And you guys have to be ready that these games can be postponed or canceled because this conference is not all the way 100% healthy, okay? So we move forward and we have some games here. And it's going to be up first, and it's going to be the MAC Pick 3, 6-1, where I'm going to go ahead and take the plus 27.5 on Akron today. I know this looks crazy, but this is an interstate rivalry as well, too. And you know what? They're not going to take Akron seriously. They may play down to their level. And so pretty much what we're going to do here is we're going to have ourselves a mighty good time. Hey. And hopefully Akron goes ahead and takes care of business. It actually has been pushed to a 28 as well, too. So if you catch the 28, take the 28. All right, so we got the over 55.5. Bowling Green, Kent State. This one's going to be a really good game as well, too. And I'm telling you right now, this is going to be one of those games where they're going to catch you by surprise. Bowling Green might be much better than the 20 points that they're giving them. But Kent State's supposed to show up, perform, be good, be great, and go from there. And pretty much I'm going to take the over 55.5 because I expect big scoring in this game tonight as well. And then Buffalo. I think Buffalo could be our sure shot tonight. Miami of Ohio did not look good against Ball State. Ball State is going to be one of the middling two bad teams in the conference this season. Miami of Ohio is seen as one of the better teams, but I think that maybe either they were overlooking Ball State or they just are kind of an average team this season. Buffalo is still really good. They're recruiting very well. They're picking up a lot of those guys who didn't make it at other schools. So they're looking really good in their own way, in their own right. So I'm going to go ahead and take Buffalo minus 7.5. Let's see how it shakes out. It's going to be a 6-1 ticket for you guys tonight. Let's go. Let's see how it roll. All right, so I'm going to move forward to the racing over here at Parx. And we got the best value. This race is probably coming up in about the next, actually 10 minutes, because I'm running late with the show today. So pretty much because we were doing the presser with Danny Garcia and Errol Spence. And boy, oh boy, it was pretty funny at the end as well, too, because we had a crazy moment with Angel Garcia going nuts on a reporter. And he's actually a friend of mine, too, so I'm not going to get on him about it, but he knew better than to ask that question as well, too. So race 8, we're going to rock with a horse by the name of Bourbon Street, and then we're going to pair this horse with the 7-1-2. You guys can box it 1-2-7-8. Then we got the shot of the day, who's going to be Jaluka. Jaluka's going to be in race 9, and I'm going to pair this horse with the 8-2-4. We're going to go 1-2-4-8 here. That's how you box it up. And then in race 10 in the nightcap, we're going to take the number 9, Pass the Time, and we're going to go ahead and link this horse with the 9, 3, 13, and the 14s. Luckily enough, the pick 4 already started, but I tweeted that out to show you guys that, yes, this is going to be the pick 4, and it's starting right now, and it was an all bet anyway. So literally now we just have a pick 3 situation, and all we got to do is say we got to hit the pick 3. So it's 1-2-7-8 with the 1-8 and the 9 singled at the end for a $32 investment. I want to thank you guys very much for tuning in today. And I know that, it came on a little late, but you know what? We still got the show done today. We had a great episode of NFL Bet Exchange this morning, and we also, had a great press conference as well, too. So today's been a good, nice, busy day. So pretty much it is what it is. And at the end of the day, hey, let's go ahead and keep cashing these tickets. Always bet with your head, not with your heart. This is the premier sports betting show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And this is the Primetime Angles live on IG. And I am gone. Thank you for tuning into the Primetime Angles, the premier sports betting show, hosted by the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. This is a PrimeWave media production, and go ahead and press that subscribe button.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a PrimeWave Media production.